Hello, everybody. Welcome to Life in Mandyland. This is my second podcast, and welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. I'm your host, Mandy. This is going to be a really good one. This is my amazing, beautiful, wonderful, awesome, handsome, sexy man, Jonathan. And, and we are going to dive into some awesome stories for you. It's kind of hard to know like where to start. We want to talk about our Whoa, he's all wrapped up in a blanket. We're getting cozy. Y'all should get cozy.
Cozy podcast.
Yeah, cozy. Sit back, chill out, rest.
Grab your favorite blanket.
Or grab your favorite beverage, or grab your favorite car and drive and listen, or however we. Oh, you decided to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I might or might not hold it. But anyway,
It's cute. See,
it is cute.
buzz on it.
It feels good, actually. Um, okay, we are going to dive right in. We're going to talk about our evangelical,
Church experience,
that. Thank you.
which we spent what?
We spent a long time there.
We've been married 32 years,
Yes.
and so we probably spent the first 20 years in church.
20 years? Yeah. Whew, we got a lot to unpack.
20 years of shit.
No, I mean, it got us to here.
That's right.
And for that, I'm very thankful. But we're going to dive in. We're going to talk a lot about it. And, I was taught, and I'm going to refer to my book here because if you want to know more about my story, our story, it's a lot in here about my childhood and then all of the shit that I walked through and brought into my adult life and into our marriage and how it messed everything up and how we put it, well, it's kind of how we put it back together. But anyway, um, it's a good story. It's intense, I will tell you that. But I talk about how I started. When I first heard the word altar call was when I was 12 or 13, and my mom took me to a Baptist church. And the very first, when I heard you need Jesus or you need something to save you or whatever, I shot down to the front because I wanted to feel loved. And I talk about that in my book. Um, but you have been in church all your life, basically, since you were little, right?
I was pretty much born into it.
I dropped water all down myself.
My parents got saved um, pretty much right before I was born. So, yeah.
Well,
Which they had a real experience with unconditional love
yeah.
that changed their lives. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to disparage that in any way. I'm just saying it's, I don't know. They didn't need the church system after that. We should keep pursuing that unconditional love and go in that direction. You don't have to get into the church, but that's what happened.
Well, and I understand that some people, they feel good there and it helps them. And if it does, then by all means do that. But for us, it was a place that we could hide. Or especially me. I could hide a lot. You too, though, right?
Of course.
Like I could put on a mask and sing praise Jesus and pretend like, and again, in my book I had an affair and it talks all about that. And I could just praise Jesus and
You what? You had a what? Just kidding.
Oh man, you're funny. Um, But anyway, we started after we met, we started going to this one church, and I loved it. I really thought, it was the best thing ever, and we were there for 10 years. We got married there. These people were our family. We saw them every single day or every other day, it seems.
Yeah.
Um,
Anytime the doors were open,
yeah,
3 times a week at least.
yeah. And he led worship, and um we were very involved, and little by little though, it just felt so controlling, just I don't know, it was just like, for instance, him being, I say a lot anyway, who cares? He was the worship team leader. And because of that, I was required to go on different like women's retreats and stuff like that. And I remember telling the pastor's wife, she told me, asked me to come on the women's retreat. And I was like, no, really want to spend some time with my kids this weekend. And she was like, no, she was like,
You're the wife of the worship minister. You have to
you
come.
have to come. It was just required. And at that point, I just remember, feeling very, very, very controlled. Like I just felt like that was so controlling to me. Like, you have to do this. And I was just like, that just kind of, I didn't like that. Um, and it was things like our kids were going to another church on Wednesday nights because I found this beautiful place for them to go and do arts and crafts. And they loved it. What it was called something, I can't remember, but they loved it on Wednesday nights. And, or was it Wednesday? I don't remember what night it was, but they loved it. They couldn't wait to go every
I
week.
think it was an off night.
It was an off night because
'Cause-
Wednesdays was church
yeah.
night. So it'd be like a Tuesday or a Thursday or something.
Yeah.
And so I just remember mentioning it to somebody at church, and it got back around to the pastors, and they came to us and said, I'm sorry, your kids are going where? They're doing what?
No, it wasn't like that. It was a little more manipulative. It was like, hey, we want to take you out to eat.
Oh,
And we were like, oh, great. Let's go out to eat. So during dinner, they're like, we heard that, y'all are going or letting the kids go to this church on this particular day and blah, blah, blah. We can't have y'all doing that because, you're the worship pastor. And I don't even remember their reasoning, but it was ridiculous. And, but it was done in such a icky, nice way.
yeah. It was very yucky.
Yeah.
Like, get off of me. Ugh.
But needless to say, it all became very manipulative, very controlling. Um, yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah. And our kids were devastated when we came to them and said, look, my belly's showing.
We can't do this anymore, kids. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we even explained it to them. Like, how do you explain that? The pastor said we couldn't. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The pastors say that you can't go to this. And they were devastated. They cried a lot.
Because they had already made friends and really enjoyed going and having fun. But
Hmm. It just got to where I told him, I was like, I think we should probably go and like look for another church. Because that's what you did. You you were- you tried to find a church that was right for you. That's what, that's another thing we were taught, or that's how I learned is, oh, we can just visit this church or this church or this church. But when I came to him and brought it to him and I said, hey, why don't we do this? And you were like,
it's like, no, we can't. I'm the worship leader. We can't just up and leave.
and I was like, man, because I just really felt like we needed a change. We were there
To a
to
fault.
loyal to a fault. 10 years. We were there for 10 years. And so we did. We eventually, what happened was how do you,
We were moving. We were having to move out of the place that we were in.
yeah.
And We were really young and
Young and dumb.
young
Yeah.
and
Y'all
dumb.
ever done anything young and dumb before? We were idiots.
Jeez. We thought it'd be a great plan because our tag on our car was out,
Yeah.
and we were moving into my mom's house because she was in Ohio, and
We were gonna
we were
house
going
it
to
for
house
her
it for her, and her car was there, so we thought, oh, we'll just switch the tags because
until we get a new tag.
yeah, her car's in, it's not out of date, it's not expired, so let's put that tag on our car, right? Well, just so happens on one of these trips between houses bringing our things, my taillights went out on the car and we get pulled over.
Yeah.
The cop runs the tags and at first believed that this car is stolen because,
He thought we stole the car. And we had
the
our kids in the car.
car registered to that tag doesn't match the car we were driving. So
Right.
we had all of our kids and it was all
We
of
tried
us.
to explain it to him, like, no, this is really our car. And it was, it was our
We tried
car.
to explain to him what we did.
Yeah. But he didn't believe us.
Yeah, and then they ran my license, and turns out I had some unpaid tickets from like years ago, and because of that, my license was suspended, and they took me to jail.
Oh, and our kids were little and they were crying their eyes out in the back seat of the car. And
Daddy's going to jail.
yeah. So,
It was a fun experience, and it was really funny because the girls were really upset, and they were booking me in the police station, and the cop came to me. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me? Maybe we could have done something." I was like, "We
we
tried.
tried to tell you.
We tried to tell you." He was like, "Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about all this." He felt so
Yeah, he
bad.
didn't. Yeah, he felt
But
bad. But
anyway,
anyway, didn't you end up staying there for hours? I just remember me and my oldest daughter
I
being on.
stayed overnight.
Yeah, he stayed in jail overnight. I just remember me and my oldest daughter just being like so upset. We're crying, we're praying, we're doing everything. We're like, what do we do? Because it was going to cost so much to get him out. And
Well, and you called the pastor, right? And
yeah,
let him know what
like,
was
yeah,
going
called
on.
the pastor and let him know what was happening. And,
And of
and
course, they're all like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We'll be praying."
yeah, but then it turned into, um, anyway, we got him out of jail. We were able to get him out of jail.
Yeah, the next day
Yeah,
I
the
got
next
out,
day, it took some time,
paid all
but
my fines and all that stuff. But
yeah. Um, and yeah, so the pastor, basically, didn't he fire you at that point?
yeah, pretty much. He said it wasn't a good look that the worship leader had gone to jail, and he just wanted me to lay back for a while or something.
Hmm.
Like, okay, yeah.
So, that was devastating. Because you really did love doing that. But anyway, so we stopped and then I don't know what happened after that.
Well, uh,
There was a lot.
unbeknownst to us, behind the scenes, our pastor was meeting with all the other pastors in the area
Yes.
and got up in front of all of them and told them he had to fire his worship leader because he went to jail. And dressed in those colors, you wouldn't know if he was a child molester or a drug dealer. And just left it at that in front of all these pastors.
Let every pastor in our area
So
believe
every church that we visited, everybody was looking at us like, "Oh,
there's those people.
oh,
Oh my God.
oh."
Did you hear about those people? And they're here? Why are they here? The pastors would look at us like we were crazy. Like, what are they doing in our church? Like it was nuts.
It was
And it
crazy.
was all to do with a tag and some tickets. We were like an outstanding ticket or whatever it was.
It's funny because I was in the process of getting a new job with a childhood friend that I had grown up with, and he knew me better than anybody. He had known me since I was a kid, and he was going to the Vineyard,
Hmm.
which was the church we ended up going to next.
Hmm.
And the pastor of that church heard that he was hiring me to run his store. And the pastor was like, "Are you sure you want to hire that guy? I heard that he went to jail." And my friend just starts laughing. He's like, "He didn't do anything wrong. If he's guilty of anything, he's just poor." And which ended up being great that he stood up for me because that pastor immediately wanted to meet with us.
Yeah.
And
They took us out to eat and we had a
and
great,
it was very different take you out to eat experience, like
yes,
different than the one we had before.
yes. They
It
were,
was very loving, very accepting, and
and I cried a lot because I just remember thinking there's just so much love here, that they love, like they had genuine love, and it just meant the world to me after being like just slandered like we were.
yeah,
And I remember like when we got the call, I didn't say this before, but when we got the call that we found out what our former pastor had said to all of these men and all of these, I dropped to my knees and I sobbed as if somebody had just came in and killed someone that I loved. Like that's how deeply it affected me because
well, those were people we
we,
gave 10 years of our life
10
to.
years to our life too, and we loved them deeply. They were, we like they were family to us, just to feel so backstabbed and betrayed like that, just wounded us so deeply. And it took a while to get over that, and past that. But thankfully, we started going to this other church. We were there, loved these people. Matter of fact, I started doing worship with him. That was amazing. It was a great experience being there. We
Yeah.
we have wonderful memories being there.
Probably the best church experience we ever had.
Yes, yeah. And we got it. He got a job, an offer in Nashville. So then we moved to Nashville and this church sent us off. We had a big party for us, a big going away party, wrote a bunch of notes and things and posters and just everybody came and we had a big feast and they just, they were like, you're always welcome here. And anytime you come back, you can do worship, or you can do music. And so we left and we went to Nashville and we wanted to go to a similar church to that one in the same branch. But when we got there, we couldn't find one. And when we couldn't find it.
No, we couldn't find the vineyard. We went to a church called the Vineyard here
Hmm.
in Jackson, Mississippi, and then there's a bunch of vineyards all over the country. And we knew there was one in Nashville, and we wanted to find that because this was like the best church experience we'd ever had. So we thought, hey,
Well,
we need to find the one in Nashville.
right, right. We went there and we could never find it because it was in a shopping mall.
It
And
was like a business complex,
yeah,
like with a
yeah, it
bunch
was
of
like it looked
offices
like a
and stuff.
shopping mall to
Yeah.
me, but it was kind of outdoor. It looked like an outdoor shopping mall, but it was business complexes. And so we could never find it, even though the map said that it was there, and it was there the whole time. But we spent how long? Like a long time not going there because we didn't know it was there. So we
That
started,
was before, like Google Maps and Apple Maps. We didn't have that back then.
right. We didn't have any of that back then.
We just kind
It's
of
easier
trying to
now
find
than,
stuff.
yeah, it's way easier now.
Yeah,
So,
we went around to a bunch of different churches, trying different places, and
yeah, never,
wasn't nothing
mm,
ever
never felt,
felt good.
nah. We tried a bunch of churches too, and it just didn't. We were just like, no. So anyway, but we ended up finding this specific church.
We found a vineyard, yay!
We finally found it. We started doing music there within what, a year maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Well, I was
And
playing drums from the jump, but
yeah, that's where I met him was on the drum set. So that's his main instrument, even though he played good guitar. Anyway, side note. Um, but yeah, he was playing drums, but it ended up us being worship leader. I mean, him being worship leader, and I would just sing back up, and we loved it, and I mean, we loved doing that together. Um, our story is definitely, you need to go read the rest of what we're talking about right here in this, because there's a lot of juice in
Lot
this.
to it.
There's a lot to that in there. That's when I felt like I could always be fake, but the fakest, I could just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I just wasn't real. Anyway, so we were there for about 3 years, and I guess 2 or 3 years, our kids met, best friends that they still talk to and love and, see. And I love that. Like, still have amazing friends. And then what happened? That church dissipated. There was
Dissolved.
dissolved. There was a lot going on behind the scenes that we weren't really a part of. There was a lot of stuff. But anyway, um, but we just kind of stopped going, and we decided at that point, you know what, we're tired. We're just kind of exhausted of all the church stuff. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
um
let's take a break.
let's take a break. We're just gonna not church. We still would go and visit a couple of places. We've actually even did some music for a place or two during that time, but we didn't want to go to churches, and we didn't want to commit any. I just burped, and we were done.
How dare you?
Anyway, so yeah, we started going to our home for church. But shortly after that, and we told our kids we're just going to take a break. But they had friends that went to another church from the church that we had just came from. They were like, "Hey, our friends are going to this other church. Can we go there with them?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure.
That's fine.
That's if that's what you want to do, absolutely." Um, so yeah, they started going to church, and they were there. They kept going Sunday, Wednesday, or whenever, they were enjoying meeting new people and the youth group and all that stuff. And I mean, we were enjoying ourselves being at home, you know. But then it got to that church asking our children, where are
Where are
your
your parents?
parents?
Are
So,
they Christians?
oh God.
Do they go to church?
Do they go to church, and all this stuff? So our kids told us this stuff, and I don't know about you, but my pride got in the way. And I was like, God damn it. I don't want, these.
You didn't say "God damn it" back then.
No, I didn't. I thought that was blasphemy. It's not though.
God's last name is not damn it.
It's just a word, you guys. It's just a word. But anyway, um, so I was like, man, my pride got in the way, and I was like, we need to go.
We need to make an
We
appearance.
need to make an appearance. And when these people came up to us, and we went to visit. When they came up to us, it was, oh, we just didn't know that, we were wondering about the parents. Are the parents still together? These kids are awesome, and we'd love to get to know your kids, but we just didn't know about their parents. We would love for y'all to come. So we started going to that church, even though we had said we wanted to take a break. And we got really close to them. We really did. We got really close to them. We got close to the pastors, loved them. Um, and yeah, we were there for a while. We started doing music in a rotation, because there was like different people who did music, and we were same thing with the other places.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we did music, and it was, we were enjoying it. Um, but then let's see, I went to the pastor's wife. I just wanted to tell her one day. And I was really close to them. I loved them. I thought they were great. But I just wanted to go up to the pastor's wife and just tell her, what I had gone through and what I've been through, and how we were in a place of putting our marriage back together. And we were working really hard. It was really tough, for us to start from scratch. We had to, again, my book, I'm going to keep referencing it because it's all in here. And So we were putting our everything back together, and when I went to the pastor's wife, and we went off in a back room, and I said, "I never have told you this before." And we had been there for what, a couple years
Couple
by that
years.
time.
Yeah.
And I said, "I never told you this before, but I just want to tell you that I had an affair, and Jonathan and have been working really hard on our relationship, and plus we had, recently decided to go on a God, we're gonna have to do a podcast about the homeless journey." Because we decided to go on a homeless journey only because we were taking care of we needed to focus fully on our family. None of this is going to make any sense, but it I would never, tell anybody to do that unless they absolutely feel like they were supposed to. We were supposed to. And so it brought us together as a family. And we were supposed to like, and we house up for people and all the things, and they knew about all of that. And they were, understood all, all of it. But when I told her about that part of our, and why we decided to do that, and how we were put, in a place of healing. We've been healing for a couple years and all the things. And she just looked at me and she was just like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." And I was like,
Huh?
"Huh? What makes so much sense? Like I don't get it, Like what is I don't understand." And then she just kind of looked at me, but her face was filled with judgment.
Yeah.
Just nothing but judgment. And I was just like, I didn't expect it to go this way. This is really weird. She walked out of the room and she said, "Thank you for telling me this." She walked out of the room and went straight up to him and said,
I don't remember what she said, but
she
she
said,
was like praising me
yeah, she
for
said, "You
being
poor
such a good
thing."
man and all this kind of stuff. I had no idea Mandy had just
Yeah, she didn't.
spilled the
Yeah, he
beans.
didn't
I
know.
didn't know.
He didn't know what in the
I
heck I
just
just
thought this
did.
was really weird that this lady's like, "Oh, you're such a good man," blah 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 blah. Then Mandy told me later, and I was like, "What? That's why she was doing that?" Ugh,
I'm like,
ick.
she didn't get it. She totally didn't get it. Not at all.
No.
And I told, being what we're taught being like a Christian, you're Christ, I'm thinking Christ, like I didn't expect that. But anyway, it was really weird after that, and it just kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, no, we gotta go.
It really revealed some things about that place that was not good.
Wasn't
Because
good
what
at
had happened
all.
was a lot of talking, a lot of gossiping behind our backs going on, and it just got really, really, really funky.
And that wasn't even the first time.
No.
There had been gossip before that, and it was just like I remember being in the room with um me and three other people. And one of the guys in there just said, "I will never forget this." Said something like, "There's vultures in this church." And I just looked at him and I was like, "What?" They were like, "They're just, dead eating, nasty, what something or other." And I was just like, he was calling it out. And I just looked at him. I was like, "Oh, he was talking about the women too in the church." He was like, "They're just," and I said, "Am I one of those?" He goes, "I would definitely not say that in front of you if if you were." He was like, "No, you're actually very authentic, and I appreciate that." And I was like, and see, I was learning how to be more authentic because I had come out of all of that, stuff, and I had confessed everything and we were getting right, and I was learning how to be more authentic. And so it was a compliment for me. I was like, "Thank you for saying that." But I don't know, it just kept getting icky. And I was just like, "You know what? We're done."
What time to go?
Yeah. So we left.
Time to move along.
We left. We were done. And from there, we went to another church, which, we were there for a little while, and I absolutely loved it there. Of course, the pastors there were intimidated by us because we were getting close to all of the younger people. I always love the youth groups though. Like I have such a heart for the younger people anyway, because I remember what it's like being a teenager. It's all in my book. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I just have such a heart, and we would hang out with the teenagers more than anything, or the younger adults, because we didn't want to be in the yucky, shitty, nasty, like, oh, you have to be all whatever. No,
Spreading the gospel about people.
yeah, no, we didn't want any of that. We wanted to have fun with the kids. And so, but the pastors seemed to be really intimidated, and they were just kind of wondering like who we were, because all of their younger people were coming to us and being like, that couple is so awesome. They're like our mom and dad, they're like, we can just go talk to them. And but we were there for a little while, and then we left, and then we ended up moving
Yeah,
back home
back to Mississippi.
yeah, back to Mississippi. And from there, we decided that we were not going to go to church anymore. We decided we were going to be done. And we still did some music here and there. We had pastors that heard our music, loved our music, and asked us to come. We had two offers. We had two different people come to us and ask us if we would do music for their church. And we just told them we will come and do it every now and again if you want us to, but we're done with committing to church. That's just not for us.
Yeah.
And we did that for about two or three different churches for a little while, and then we called it, and it was just done. It was over. We just realized it wasn't for us. The manipulation, the control, and I've had people come to me and say, but that wasn't God, right?
Mhm.
And that's almost like, really? Why would you even think that I mean, no. I understand the difference between that and a human being. We can separate the two. Um, and God is a whole nother topic for me. It's hard for me to explain or just talk about that, because I feel like it's here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's here, and that's it. It's here, and it's within. And so unconditional love. And yeah, but ever since then, like within a couple of years, I started doing we here's the thing, we
That
had
was around 2012.
yeah.
And that's when I really started like my deconstruction process, really digging into the Bible and the dead languages it was written in
Yeah.
and really deconstructing it. And hell was the first thing that fell for me, and it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, he really dug in and started, he instead of listening to what everybody else said, he actually did the research for himself. And that's what everybody should do. Do the research for yourself. Don't just go on someone's word or someone said this or that. Do your own. Find out for yourself, you know? And that's exactly what he did. And while he was doing that, and do you know that there was one person that came to him that really said something to him that helped him and me, because basically we were really angry at the time. We were so pissed off.
About our church experience.
Yes, about our church experience. We were both so angry. We were livid inside. And we were just like, but he had someone come to him. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And what did he say to you?
Well, I was just expressing to him how angry I was at the system and just at what these people had done and treated us and whatever. And he was like, I was like, I just wish I wasn't so angry. And he said, well, normally the abused lash out at their abusers. And that's part of it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
I was abused.
Big time. Big time abused. We were very, very abused, both of us, in church for years. And in order to, we had to remove ourselves from all of it to find out who and what we are and what we feel. and heal. We had to heal from, 20 years of trauma, basically. And he was doing his own research, and I started getting into tarot and just realizing how much, oh my God, I heard, for years I heard that it was demonic and it was of the devil and you can't do that stuff. And it says in this and this and this. None of that's bullshit. None of that's true. And I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but for me, that's one of the things that helped me the most because I could connect. It's a tool. It's a tool for me that I could connect with my angels and guides and feel so close to my ancestors and my loved ones who've passed on. And it began to heal me, and he was doing his own set of healing, which he was digging in. And I love listening to him talk about the Bible and like things like that. And when people say, "Oh, but this scripture," and he can be like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," he can like dig
Let's
in.
break that down.
Yeah, let's break it down. And I love that about that he knows all that stuff. And I just started going inward, and doing my inner journey. And so anyway, that has led us to here and now. And it's been, like you said, it's been since 2012. And we really worked on it, not, forgiveness, I mean, really, that's really,
And
really,
that's the thing. We don't hold any bitterness or hatred towards anybody.
no.
We have forgiven all those people and understand that they were just acting out of their own insecurities, and
Yes.
um,
Yes.
we're all flawed humans.
We are. Every single one of us is flawed. And they were acting out. And honestly, I can actually, take it and say, I can actually look at every one of those people. I can see them today and say thank you. I really could. I could say thank you, because I mean, it was a part of my journey. It was a step in the direction I needed to go into at the time. And I needed to, I mean, yeah, it was very painful, absolutely painful. But I hold nothing over these people because I don't want to carry that. That's not mine to carry. And I could, see any of them and say, "Hi, how are you?" At this point, and I'm just so thankful for the freedom I haven't experienced, and it's the unconditional love that I feel, for people, for humanity, that has really. And when before I just felt like I was in a box. Like I thought all these people were just, I remember inviting people to church and they'd be like, "Something's off here," and I'd be like, "Oh my God,
Something's off
what?"
with you.
Yeah, like, we thought something was wrong with them and they really needed to get saved. And that's the kind of person, that was the Christian I was. And now I talk about, instead of, I don't try to get people saved. It's more like, what is it?
What does it mean if it's flashing?
I don't know. There you go. Um, but anyway, so now I love to talk about Christ consciousness, embodying that, embodying, um, that. And we'll talk more about Christ consciousness. I know we will. But really, I mean, that's where we are. And anything else you have to say?
Um, no, not really.
Well, I'm thankful for the journey. And I'm thankful, well, I'm
It's been
thankful for
14
the
years
14 years.
since we said adios to the church system.
Yes. And that was, evangelical Christians. And I've had to learn, it's really crazy because I say all the time that there's people today that have really like fucked with my mind. Because, and I'll tell you, some people who are Christians or call themselves Christians, or some of the people who do tarot, or and that's just fucks with my mind because in my brain, before you were like, "Oh, no, 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 you couldn't do that." But,
You can't call yourself a Christian and do tarot.
yeah, you can't call yourself a Christian and do tarot. You can't call yourself your Christian and be gay. You can't like all of this rules and shit. But I'm just like, man,
But what does Christian mean? It means little Christ or Christ-like.
yeah,
There's people who are Christ-like that have nothing to do with Christianity.
Right.
but they embody a Christ-like spirit.
Yes. 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 And I just the parts of me that would try to
Atheists who are Christ-like. Come on now.
yes. Yes.
Some of the most beautiful people I've ever known.
Yes. Oh man. The parts of me that would try to get people saved, I'm just like, that's got to stop. I've had to forgive myself for being that person that's like, I got to get all these people saved. Because basically, I was pushing my fear onto them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are pushing their fear onto other people constantly. You have to be saved. Are you a Christian? Do you know God? Are you're going to go to hell? Fear and being afraid. That's all that is. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop with no more pushing your beliefs on somebody else. This is our personal experience, and people do not need to be pushing their beliefs on anyone.
Mm-mm.
This is our experience. You and everyone else has their own experience, and it's such a respect. I respect other people and where they are, and that is exactly where they need to be. And I'm exactly where I need to be. If we had that mutual respect, can you imagine the world that we could change? This whole world could change if we had a mutual love and honor and respect for one another.
Yep.
And I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that you guys have really got something out of this and enjoyed this. And I'm glad you're here. Like it was very passionate. You heard our story. Be sure to leave a comment or however, yes, and get in touch with me. I have a 7-day soul plunge if you want to know any more about that. Email me at mandyland21244@gmail.com. And it's 7 days of you. And I love absolutely guiding and helping people on their own path and journey. So, yeah, and I do one-on-one sessions, and yeah.
She's badass.
I love you. I loved doing this with him. We've never done this before. Okay, I gotta leave it. More to come. Yeah, we'll do more together. And if y'all have any topics you want us to talk about, let me know. All right, I'm gonna leave it here.
Peace.
Bye. We're out with Jonathan and Mandy. We're out.